The Anshin A Show is sponsored by Innovative Entertainment Group, Anchor, the Democratic Republic of Dahemingukshaniyya. Join the revolution by becoming a citizen of Dahemingukshaniyya today. The Suwon Media Group, the Dahemingukshaniyya Corporation, and by listeners like you. Thank you. Show your support by giving a generous financial donation. Breaking international exclusive. Gage Kirby, the conservative right-wing cult leader of the international racist hate cult called GC2, a con Trump-supporting anti-LGBT plus group from Michigan who is known for abusing transgender and Asian people, does a press conference from his bedroom in Michigan, United States of America. Let's listen in.
Chapter A1, Gage the drug abuser. Yeah, drug abuser. Because remember, if you did something years ago that you're not doing anymore because you decided that it was not worth your fucking time to fuck up your own life and potentially get a record in the future when you're actually old enough to be tried as an adult, remember, despite the fact that you openly say that you've been clean for nearly 11 years, you're still abusing drugs even though you've been clean for nearly 11 years. It is no secret that Gage has indeed been a drug abuser. Okay, and, is that supposed to be, a slight against my person if I had a problem but then got clean? I mean, if someone's been clean for a long-ass time, what the hell's the point of even bringing it up? It kind of sounds scummy to bring it up only because you need some sort of ammunition against me. I think it's funny that you're trying that hard to bitch about something that's not even your fucking problem, that happened almost 11 years ago, that happened far before I was even aware of your existence on this fucking planet. And you need to bring it up constantly just to throw it back in my face because you're a fucking asshole. Which I kind of think is sad because as someone who tries way too hard to convince himself that he knows everything and that no one can challenge him, you tend to honestly do a whole bunch of really shitty things that makes it really fucking easy to point at you and say you're a fucking prick. Because it doesn't make you look superior or clever when you intentionally go out of your way to convince someone that they are a piece of crap drug abuser because they decide to say mean things about you. Clearly even Gage was a victim of the opioid crisis. This also shows that his "I'm better than you" attitude is a false narrative that is used to hide the real truth that Gage is indeed a drug addict. Here's the thing. Someone having been a drug addict and getting clean to better themselves is not the same thing as them doing it now. I mean, you kind of sound like a fucking douche because you're essentially saying, well, he thinks he's better than everyone, despite the fact that he admits to having flaws. They explain why Gage is mentally messed up in the head and cannot learn from his mistakes against myself and the transgender community like any human being with a functioning brain. Again, someone having a painkiller addiction does not affect a person's memory. It would affect their nerves. Now, I'm not attacking anyone who has such problems, nor am I trying to insinuate the fact that people with a drug addiction are inherently bad people. Well, it kind of sounds like you are. It kind of sounds like you are, because you're inherently saying that someone who used to have a fucking problem, who doesn't anymore, is still a bad person because of that problem, despite the fact that they don't have it anymore. I mean, that kind of defeats the purpose of this, saying, I'm not attacking you, I just don't understand why it is you act this way type of argument, because you are attacking someone. You're attacking me over something that's none of your fucking business, that had nothing at all to do with you, because you need to try to annoy me and get a personal card out. And quite frankly, you sound like a retarded little douche who's trying way too fucking hard to get under my skin by bringing something up that's none of his fucking business whatsoever. I mean, you're a fucking douche. But what I am saying is this whole act that Gage plays, this I'm better than you persona, is a lie. I am showing that Gage is not perfect, nor is he a god. I've never once said I was a god or any sort of divine deity because I don't believe in gods. I've never once said to be perfect. The reason I admit to having issues in my life was because of the fact that I'm trying to share my humanity with the people around me, with the people that watch me, that know for a fact my life has not been the fucking primrose path. It's always been a matter of trying to share your humanity with the audience just enough so that they can identify with you and understand some of the struggles you go through and some of the struggles that you might have been through. But you don't know that because you're sitting on an ivory tower essentially beating off over the rest of us, calling every human being that doesn't agree with him a bigot or a bully of whatever kind, because your mind is so one-dimensional that anything that strays outside of the preconceived notions that you have is immediately either non-existent or conservative. Well, and he acts like he controls the universe and everyone who exists within that universe. He doesn't even have control of his own life. Yeah, despite the fact that every choice I make affects my life, and I make choices that will inevitably help my life by continuing to go to work, by continuing to bust my ass at my job, by continuing to pay my expenses, despite the fact that I'm making all these choices that are inherently helpful to me, I magically don't make any decisions for myself. Like, I just magically don't do anything for myself, despite the fact that I openly show that I'm doing the best I can to make the best of a situation that would otherwise not be that great. He talks big, but Gage is indeed small. A small transphobic racist from Michigan who lashed out at innocent bystanders who call him out on his shit. Oh, look, you actually swore. Good job. You actually swore for the first time ever. And now I'm waiting for the people in the psych ward to come get you and throw you back in your cell. You're not really calling anyone out on their shit. You're essentially just taking a personal card and trying to swing it at someone when they've already admitted to having the fucking problem. It's like your brain is in backwards and shit that people have said almost a year ago miraculously suddenly occurs to you now. Just so you can keep typing this shit up because you need to keep trying to pull things all the way back from people's pasts as a way to try to nail them to the fucking wall. You sound like a fucking douchebag because you're trying way too hard to do that. There's no other reason to do that except for the fact that you're doing that. Like, really. Like, all you're really trying to do is attach yourself to what people have done in their personal life, which is none of your fucking concern. And you're trying to essentially say that anyone that disagrees with you must have their past thrown into the light just so people can shit on them over their past. And I kind of think it's funny that you're trying so fucking hard to annoy someone over nothing. Seriously, people stop talking about you. They pretty much say, fuck you, go away, leave you in the fucking dust. And your first thought is to have like one of these little psychotic meltdowns where you start shitting yourself and screaming into the fucking camera and like shrieking into the fucking ether because you don't know how to, you don't know what to do in a situation where people don't agree with you. Here's the thing. Talking about my past isn't going to make a bunch of people just like fucking say, well, screw this guy, and then walk away. They're going to say, well, yeah, it's kind of douchey that he's bringing that shit up and acting like it's a new occurrence when this person's been over with this for like almost for over a decade. And this person is sitting there seemingly perplexed that the person who's trying to do their best to get over the fucking problem and has actually been clean for a long ass time, and you're bringing it up now, it kind of seems like you're just running out of ammo. You kind of sound like a moron who's trying to make something stick that's already been mentioned before. You don't sound funny, you don't sound clever, you don't sound witty. You sound like an idiot who's trying way too hard to get underneath someone's skin. And quite frankly, I think you're a bit of a dick. Although I have to admit, the closet gay thing I thought was really fucking funny because it was just so off base. I mean, you're trying way too hard to offend me, and all it did was make me fucking laugh. The fact that you need to continue to deny something that there's actual evidence for, in terms of a relationship that I have in real life, kind of shows me that you're incredibly fucking delusional. Delusional. And Kate's not being abused, you fucking retard. You seem to think that you speak on behalf of everyone at all that happens to have lady bits. No, you don't. You speak on behalf of yourself and yourself alone. You do not have the right to talk on anyone's behalf except your own. If you're so mad and so butthurt that other people have lives that actually matter, who don't act retarded and start shit with people around the clock, if you're mad that people can actually have friendships and relationships that don't involve screaming into the fucking ether whenever they don't get their way, then maybe you should actually try to grow as a person. Which I know you'll never do, because you're too stupid to admit the fact that no one has to agree with you or believe what you say. And those that do believe what you say are usually pretty mind-fucked anyway. All I'm saying is you're a fucking gnat. You're an annoying little gnat, and you're buzzing around me for no fucking reason. Piss off.
The Anshin Show is sponsored by Innovative Entertainment Group, Anchor, the Democratic Republic of Dehemingukshania. Join the revolution by becoming a citizen of Dehemingukshania today. The Suwon Media Group, the Dehemingukshania Corporation, and by listeners like you. Thank you. Show your support by giving a generous financial donation.
Thank you for listening to the Anshin Show podcast. Tune in next time for more real live and influencing news, music, and current events from Dehemingukshania and around the globe. Please don't hesitate to invite your family and friends to be active listeners of this podcast and donate a generous amount to support us.